These exercises are geared towards strengthening our hips. This is what we call a bridge. There are a couple different ways we can set this up to optimize the effectiveness of it. So I want to go through some of those details today. So to begin with, you're just going to be laying on a flat surface. Doesn't matter if you're on your bed or a floor or whatever. We want your feet to be just a couple inches walked away from your hands when your hands are at your side. And then legs are going to be about hip width apart. We want to kind of imagine that those toes are going to ground into the surface that they're on. So spreading those toes wide and then placing them with thoughtfulness to really engage your feet. The next thing you're going to do is try and keep a neutral pelvis throughout. So I'm going to imagine like there's a triangle on my hips and pelvis, and that triangle is just going to lift straight up. So I'm going to push into the ground to lift my hips and pelvis up to neutral. At the top here, you can give a little squeeze if that feels good. And then you're going to lower back down. Pushing up, squeeze, and lowering back down. So we can make this harder by doing a couple things. The first thing is you can actually just lift your arms up. By lifting your arms, you decrease your center of balance and you make it so that you rely more on your core to keep you neutral. If that is hard, you can actually make your arms wider to do the opposite. The next variation I really like is a single leg. So I'm gonna lift this leg, trying to keep my thighs kind of neutral here, and then I'm gonna push through this leg, lifting and keeping my pelvis neutral. What we're looking for here is that this pelvis is in a nice flat line versus dropped in either direction. What that requires is my stationary leg down here to really be using my lateral hip muscles to help with that rotation and that control. So then you can either pulse with one leg, or you can go into a one leg lift up, come back down to neutral. So there's a lot of different ways we can scale this to make it harder or easier. The last thing that I want to go over is kind of this scoop motion that you've maybe seen or felt in a yoga class. So there is some use for that. It's not necessarily as much about the strengthening, and it's more about kind of the mobility aspect of the bridge. So these are kind of two different versions. So this version, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to imagine that I'm scooping my tailbone and kind of tucking it up and then lifting. And then I'm going to lower down one vertebrae at a time, untucking. So scoop, rounding, lifting, and then untucking. This can be a way to bias your glutes a tiny bit more if you have reason to do that. But it also is a really nice way to create gentle motion through your lumbar spine if you're having any low back tightness or stiffness. Hi, my name is Sarah McNurlin, and I am a doctor of physical therapy here in Salt Lake City and owner of Pinion Physical Therapy. We've been helping people for over a decade get better. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. If you want more of this information, like and subscribe so that you get all the latest updates as they come out. If you feel like you're ready to take a deeper dive into your own personal health journey, click on the link and schedule a free 15-minute consult so we can talk about your goals.